Max should have won the race in Jeddah, and he should have finished P4 in Bahrain. And
Mm-hmm.
again, Red Bull can be, again, he's dragging everything from that car. Agreed, but he's made mistakes.
Yep.
And amongst the entire hubris, I think this thing gets missed. He should have finished P4 in Bahrain. He finished P6. That's around 4 or 5 points he's lost.
Yep.
How much? Yeah. And
It's
this
3 points, right? No. Where did he finish? P6, yeah?
Yeah,
And P4 is 10 points.
P4 is 12 points.
Is it? Yeah, it is.
P4
Sorry,
is
right.
12 points.
So it's 12, 10, 8. So it's
4 points.
4 points. Yeah.
Yeah. He lost 4 points in Bahrain and he's lost 7 points in Jeddah.
Yep.
That's 11 points that Max has lost. And again, we are nitpicking, I agree, but he's lost those points. And at some point, again, Red Bull could have done the same thing. Come on the radio and shouted, "Can't you fucking start properly?" But they didn't do that. So
No, they backed him to
sometimes-
the hilt the entire time.
So first of all, I think this time let's buck the trend. Let's not talk about the winner first. Let's talk about the one who
Threw
bottled
away the
race.
win?
Sorry,
Yeah.
Max Verstappen fans. Yeah.
In fairness, for
yeah.
new viewers, I think it's kind of a nice reprieve to kind of bash Max a little because all we've
for a
done for the
change.
past like 6 races is be like, yes, Max is the best driver since Schumacher. This is not news, etc. This is a rare, I'm going to say it, rare mistake from Max. He could have won the race if he had played things differently, I think. But
I
let's
think
talk about the
Max-
incident maybe.
We'll talk about it in a bit later. But first of all, I think, again, qualifying lap stunning. Max being Max once again. But again, Red Bull being Red Bull once again. They were nowhere on Friday.
Hey, just a quick interruption because we have a problem here, which is that for the last few months, we've been saying that if you're offended, subscribe. We've kind of been saying that. We've been saying if you're not offended, don't subscribe. It's the same thing. I'm sure you understand English if you're watching this, so you've got it, I'm sure. But turns out 60% of you have not been offended. And I just can't sleep. I don't know about you, Casual. I just can't sleep at night knowing that we haven't offended 60% of the audience. I think we
sleep
need to
fine.
start. You sleep okay? Well, I haven't because there are 7.5% of you are Indians that haven't been offended. For example, I think we just need to fix this. So I'm just going to take a minute of your time to just make sure that everyone watching this is thoroughly offended. So I've written down a couple of things, Casual, and you can tell me if you think this is offensive enough. So let's offend those Hindus and Indians first, quickly.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Oh, Jesus, no. Don't, don't do that.
Is that too offensive? No? Okay.
You don't live in India.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Hindu.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that offensive? So that is
Yes.
offensive then.
That's not only offensive, that's going to get me lynched. So please don't do that.
All right. Well, I'll think about cutting it out afterwards. Is there? By the way, 15% of you watching are British, and I'd just like to say that your sports cars now are so gay that the best selling model is the LGBT. No? Offensive? No?
Maybe.
And of course, the 20% of Americans here, there's no need to insult you because you'll just do what you always do, which is show up after everyone else has done the hard work. So we'll probably cut that hint. Should we?
Yes.
Yeah. What I'll do is...
I'm still too young to die.
Okay. So if you have been offended, please subscribe. If you haven't, then tell us how we can offend you and we'll subscribe you. And if a lot of Indian people subscribe, we'll maybe show you a behind the scenes of what that joke was at some point. Thank you, everybody. Now back to the podcast.
Turned the car around.
Incredible.
And again, if Max needed any hint of why he should stay with Red Bull, this was it. And it's weekends like this where, every time Red Bull continues to remind that, okay, there are maybe a few things that are wrong. Maybe it's not operating at 100%.
Yeah.
But the parts when it comes to the race weekend, I don't think there is any team that executes as well as Red Bull does, at least in the last 2 decades that I've been watching. No team comes close. Especially not Ferrari or McLaren, to be honest.
No.
One worry, again, by the way, this was Max Verstappen fumbling the start. And remember last season, I used to talk about a particular
In
stat.
fairness, I
Yeah.
think he got a decent start. Just Oscar got a much better one.
Yeah, but we used to say that about Lando Norris as well. So let's
True.
not.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Let's be consistent. But
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. The thing is, it's a bit worrying and a bit strange for me because if you remember last season, I talked about the fact that in almost a 12-month period, there was not even a single race where Max had lost a position on the first lap.
Yeah.
He lost positions in
He still
Bahrain,
didn't lose a position on this race, though.
effectively.
Technically
Yeah,
speaking.
technically. He lost positions in Bahrain, and again, he should have finished P4 if he had got the proper start. He lost positions today. Max should have won the race in Jeddah, and he should have finished P4 in Bahrain. And
Mm-hmm.
again, Red Bull can be again he's dragging everything from that car. Agreed, but he's made mistakes.
Yep.
And amongst the entire hubris, I think this thing gets missed. He should have finished P4 in Bahrain. He finished P6. That's around 4 or 5 points he's lost.
Yep.
How much? Yeah. And
It's
this
3 points, right? No. Where did he finish? P6, yeah?
Yeah,
And P4 is 10 points.
P4 is
So
12 points.
Is it? Yeah, it is.
P4 is
you're right.
12 points.
So it's 12, 10, 8. So it's
4 points.
4 points. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He lost 4 points in Bahrain and he's lost 7 points in Jeddah.
Yep.
That's 11 points that Max has lost. And again, we are nitpicking, I agree, but he's lost those points. And at some point, again, Red Bull could have done the same thing. Come on the radio and shouted, "Can't you fucking start properly?" But they,
Yeah.
they didn't do that. So,
No, they
so
backed him to the
sometimes
hilt the entire time.
exactly.
Literally
Even after the
with
race.
printouts after the
Yeah.
race. Yeah. So, yeah.
Horner had it printed out. So,
Mm-hmm.
which is, yeah, Toto would be proud.
Yeah.
There are small mistakes that Max has made this season as well. And I think this is actually something we should keep in mind when rating him. And again, my driver ratings come out tomorrow. People are not going to be happy.
Right.
So just a precursor to that. Anyways, I think the biggest positive, I think Max should have won on
Yeah.
pace.
Well, the
Without
thing is,
any of these.
Max thinks he should have won.
Yeah.
Like, realistically, the thing is, right? Max thinks he would have won without the penalty. And I guess we'll talk about the penalty in a minute, but he thinks he should have won without the penalty. I think even if he had have dropped in behind Oscar, it would have been harder, but I think he would have had a better chance of winning if he had have done that anyway.
He would have undercut him.
I think so too. Yeah. So I think, yeah, Max threw away the win by kind of doing what Max does all the time. It usually goes in his favor though, right? But he played it wrong here.